Engulf the Shore's Gearhulk is pretty funny. You're not wrong about that. That is definitely what we like to call a combo in the biz. Two mana counter spells. Pretty slow on the draw. That's some good detective work. Engulf the Shore is worse than Supreme Prodigy. Almost certainly. Thing in the Ice would be interesting. Yeah, does deck have enough spells to support it? I'm not sure that it does. Alright. Okay, Basic Mount into Faithless Looting is probably better for us than Basic Mount into, like, Goblin Guide. Okay, Mardu Pyromancer. Engulf the Shores is probably great. Engulf the Shore is probably quite excellent here. Rogue Physicist with the 6-month resubscription. Thank you very much and welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. F a year. Thank you for that. The real question is, like, how do I not die to this card, right? Like, I have 2 copies of Engulf the Shores and 3 Vedalken Shackles. Just, like, 0 ways to interact with something in play now. This might be a quick league. This might be a quick league. We'll see. I'm not just gonna throw in the towel. We're gonna give it the old fair shake. No, I'm planning to just play some standard. I don't like building decks on stream. Building decks on stream is it's a frustrating and annoying experience. I'd rather just like play games. They implemented Cosmic Coins for their standard format too, so Hex has implemented a lot of good things in the last few months to address a lot of my concerns that I had with the game that are large parts of the reasons why I stopped playing it. I never really had a problem with their gameplay. They just like weren't supporting Constructed enough for my liking, and I primarily play Constructed, and their formats were kind of expensive, and they released starter decks to bring the cost of their formats down. And they have added on-demand prizes for their Constructed stuff, so I'm gonna give it a shake. I have the equivalent of, you know how there's like WotC coverage accounts for Magic Online, where like they have full playsets of cards. I basically have the equivalent of a coverage account for Hex because I was writing for their main website. So I have a full collection on there, but I can't trade or sell any of the cards on my account. So the only cards I can trade or sell on my account are like ones I open in drafts, or like from booster packs if I actually ripped them. All right, I mean, like, in a world where we don't get Culligans commanded here, this Vedalken Shackles might punch the clock and go to work. Nice, Grimwatch. Nice. Yeah, the Griselbrand deck is really powerful. For sure. This is my Vedalken Shackles. This card used to be like a total monster in these mid-range matchups, and like now these red-black decks get to play Culligan's Command. And it's just not, it ain't quite what it used to be, chat. It ain't quite what it used to be. How would you suggest trying to figure out a deck to play at GP Vegas? That's modern, right? I would recommend proxying a bunch of decks or loading them all up into Cockatrice and playing with friends and finding the deck that you enjoy the play patterns of the most. There's so many decks in Modern that are great that like it really comes down to just like personal preference, which deck you would prefer to play. If your choices are anything in Modern, it should come down to play the deck that you enjoy playing the most. I'm pretty sure we just have to brainstorm here because we have to find Engulf the Shores. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Let's move on to the next one. Do we have board cards? Nope, not really. I've got one extra Engulf the Shores. I don't think this is a surgical extraction. For Footloose, 10 out of 10 Remand will do. That deck looks hilarious, by the way. I guess Spell Snare is good because it stops Pyromancer. It's a card we really care about. Is Disallow too slow? I probably need to have a way to stop Bedlam Reveler, right? Jace the Mind Sculptor is pretty rancid. Karn felt good in Affinity when we played it, but I also had someone play the history of whatever that card is, the 3 blue card, and that card was really impressive. So I think I would definitely test that. The Vryn's Prodigies are interesting. We don't really have a lot of things that can actually flash back, so I'm just gonna trim one of those, I think. What's Footloose? Look at the donation queue and you'll find out. Blue Moon, Blue Red Prison, or U White X Control. I think Jeskai with Teferi is actually very good. I think Blue Red Prison is very competitive if it's a deck that you can stand playing. I don't think Blue Moon is particularly good. People post results with it, so if you really like it, it's fine. But like between your other choices from a pure power level perspective, I definitely would not pick Blue Moon in my... Yeah, the Antiquities War. I think that card's really sweet. I think if I was looking to test a 4-mana card in Affinity, I would test the Antiquities War. Yeah. I would test Karn too, but I think Antiquities War is potentially very good. It's Goryo's Footsteps of the Goryo's combo deck, if I recall. Drawing a 2-mana counterspell after they just Thoughtseize a 2-mana counterspell. That's quite excellent. Yeah, I think you shouldn't metagame in Modern. I think you especially shouldn't metagame against control decks. That's just asking to lose. Antiquities War seems fucking hot in the KCI sideboard because like it helps your primary game plan, but it also lets you kill people through things like Stony Silence. I think Tron is a good choice for a GP. I mean, I actually don't think Tron is a very good choice right now. If you look at my data article on Friday that published, like 40% of the format in terms of the successful decks have been 40% of the successful decks have been aggro decks recently, and aggro decks are generally pretty bad for Tron. I guess I'm disallowing this. Just like stay out of my hand. Like, when we're on the play with our infinite counterspell deck, I could see this probably like having okay matchups, but I'm hard pressed to think this deck's going to be too powerful in the draw. The Antiquities War is much worse than the Blue-Red Prison deck because if you're on the Antiquities War plan, the Ensnaring Bridge plan is no longer good, is the issue. What made you want to go back to Hex or well, I don't like streaming Magic while overlapping major events. I just was ready to stream and I was like, oh, SCG isn't on yet. I'll overlap for a little bit this morning while we play this league. Hex made a bunch of really good decisions recently. They've responded to a lot of my concerns and player-based concerns about supporting constructed formats and stuff like that. So I've always enjoyed Hex's gameplay for the most part. I would like to Snapcaster leak your mana. And they know this Snapcaster is in our hand, so they are expecting this to get stat mana leak, I would assume. Yeah, it's a pretty specific subset of things though. They boarded in fucking surgical extraction. Alright, well I'll mana leak this Liliana the Veil in response. And then we'll get our mana leaks surgical, I guess. Yeah, they've added a system called Cosmic Coin. So basically you can always play standard constructed on demand for prizes for free, which is good. That was a big problem. And then they just announced that starting June 4th, they're going to be reintroducing what they call gauntlets for Constructed for the Immortal format. And gauntlets are basically Magic Online. Well, they're structured like Magic Online leagues, but they have better prizes. So, with the way Hex structures their gauntlets, if you go, it's not a set 5 matches. You either play till you have 5 wins or 3 losses, and if you go at least 3-3, you about break even on your entry fee, and if you go 4-3, you turn a small profit. And it's more sport for Immortal, as this stream is like a testament to. I really feel like it's easier for a lot of people to get into non-rotating formats, just because like someone that's going to play, you know, sparing amounts of Hex or TCG in general, like you can buy into a deck in a non-rotating format and, you know, play a little bit here and then take a break and come back and your deck's still legal. So like better support for non-rotating formats is really important, especially for TCGs where you can't like dust your cards. Like in Hearthstone, having your cards have utility long-term is good. I think I'm just going to go ahead and snap disallow this. Yeah, Hex's biggest drawback is that they don't have a mobile or a tablet client currently. I really hope they come to at least tablets. I'd be pretty surprised if they ever came to cell phones, just because Hex is a lot like Magic in that it doesn't limit itself to how many units you're able to have on the board. So it would be kind of difficult to like manage some of the large boards on a small cell phone screen. But like on most tablets, you could probably manage Hex pretty well. They surgicaled my mana leaks in response to my Snapcaster Mage targeting them. I have another Culligan's Command, yep. I'll keep this Torrential Gearhulk in my hand. If we get a land here, we have Gearhulk Remand up, and then Gearhulk Remand plus the Snapcaster beats could maybe get here. I actually find a big part of why I don't like Eternal, because I've actually given Direwolf money, and I've hit Masters in Eternal before in on their rank, their leagues, or whatever they're called. The Eternal has so much focus on quick gameplay while being so similar to Magic that I feel like I lose a lot of strategic value in Eternal coming from a game like Magic. I feel like there's a lot of design choices that Eternal makes that make it that let me lose value as a player making decisions. Yeah, the Vedalken matchup's impossible with the black-green deck. Just like really no good way to fix it. It's the one matchup that's just like unwinnable for that archetype. I mean, Eternal does some things that are unique, but like their opening hand algorithm, for instance, I find their opening hand algorithm really kind of lazy and frustrating. I should have kept that in my hand in case they Liliana Plus. They're probably not going to Liliana Plus. Need to run and grab something to drink here in a minute before we finish this league. God, that's fucking brutal. Holy shit. And this is, every time, this was the last time we played this mono blue deck too. We played not this exact list, but something similar. I was like, man, I really wish I had a lightning bolt to just kill my opponent in situations like this, but I don't. There's no lightning bolts in my deck. And like the cost of getting a second color in Modern is pretty low, so like not having lightning bolts seems kind of silly. We're going to be playing Hex. I'm planning to start with Pain Sisters combo, and if that ends up being poop soup, I've got a control deck built. Held the land for exactly this situation. Yeah, no creature lands in this build is interesting. Yeah, the trips K command. Hey, good news. They're through 3 K commands. So like if I draw Vedalken Shackles, it's probably going to stick. You know, glass half full. This is not my deck list. We're just playing what I've been sent. We were so close, chat. We were so close. Third K command will get you every time. That's the Liliana. It's just also gonna ult and just like take us off all of our lands. Alright, we're pretty dead here. There's just no way to jump. We needed to find something to interact with the board before the Liliana hit 6. Alright, I guess I could have drawn Cryptic Command there, maybe. Alright, I'm gonna run and grab something to drink really quick. This was a spur of the moment Sunday morning stream, so I'm ill prepared. I'm gonna grab a bottle of water really quick, and then we're gonna finish this league. Don't go anywhere. Waifu, can you throw me a bottle of water? Alright, sorry about that. Let's pop back in here, shall we? Morning, everyone. Everyone's having a good Sunday, good weekend. Hey, oh, did I miss bits from Remand while I walked away? I think I might have. Did I? No? It was bits from before? So, Dio, thank you for the 3-month resub, Dio. I appreciate that. Revan, if you sent a message with your bits for a deck, let me know. I must have missed them. I feel bad now. I have no idea. No, that was earlier for Footloose. 10 out of 10, got it. That was earlier for Footloose. I acknowledged it. Yeah, you're right. Okay. My memory is just crap. I even had it written down. Yep. So the only purpose of fetch lands in this deck are to shuffle after your Jace brainstorms. So we're definitely going to lead on these basic islands. So that way we can hopefully have this fetch land to shuffle a Jace brainstorm later. Bogles. God, how do we ever beat a Bogle? Can't Vedalken Shackles that one. This is going about as well. Well, so Engulf is kind of nuts. I guess once I untap next turn with this search, I need to prioritize countering things that give them extra toughness. But like, if they just put a what's it called? The 1-cost thing? Okay, that's a Core Spirit Dancer. That's actually kind of bad for us. Now they're gonna power through it. I need to prioritize countering things that give them extra toughness, right? That's what I need to do. Would love to bin this Torrential Gearhulk. Nah, I'm not gonna scoop the match. Someone sent in dollar dues to play this deck. They want to see if this deck is reasonable and get my feedback on it. My gut reaction here is that this matchup seems like it's probably rancid. So let's actually play the games and find out. I feel like I don't have the tools to interact with this. I don't think I want to play the Shackles to steal the Spirit Dancer here. I think that's loose. I don't know, maybe the Spirit Dancer drawing cards is just so good that I... Are we doing it, chat? Are we doing it? I think we might be doing it. I'm not sure if this qualifies as it, but it certainly feels like it. I added another district to Combo Town. I'm not sure if I made it worse or playable, but we'll find out tomorrow, so that's good. So I just want to keep Core Spirit Dancer and both these creatures inside of Engulf the Shore range. So this is only going to make it a 4/4, so that's fine, I think. Yep, that's fine. Oh wait, no, that's not fine, right? That's gonna make it huge. Right, we almost had a boo-boo. We almost had a boo-boo. Nope, wrong one. This one. That one. Bake your shit up. That was our best possible turn. I think we're still dead, but we're gonna play and find out. The problem here is I ideally wanted to engulf the shore at their end of turn, so that way I could play Jace on an empty board. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get to play Jace on an empty board. I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and Fate Seal myself here. Yeah, let's scry. We're just looking for like another Engulf the Shores. I should have, if I was Fate Sealing, I should have, what's it called? I should have left an island up to bluff something. I'm hoping that putting Jace to 5 means this slippery boy can't kill him, and we'll get a turn with him. Nope, just super dead Jace. They have a Rancor as well. Hello, darkness, my old friend. And like, because they have this Core Spirit Dancer, it doesn't really matter that I'm like bouncing their stuff. Like that's pretty much irrelevant if we're being honest, because like they just get to keep gassing up from the Spirit Dancer, right? I guess I'm just taking this so they stop drawing cards, I guess. I have a mana leak to stop one thing here, potentially. I have 7 mana, so if we draw a land, I can Azcanta plus cast Engulf the Shores. Hey, Steamflogger. Remember when Jace was going to break Modern and get rebanned? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Pepperidge Farm remembers. It's 12. Dead to Rancor. Dead to most things. I mean, I don't have any recourse, right? Alright, I lied. We're not playing this match. Let's play another one. I lied. This deck just doesn't have the tools to interact with Bogles. Maybe we'll play 4 matches. Yeah, you can't. So I maybe shouldn't have accepted this deck. I need to be a little bit more selective when I am accepting and rejecting things. This deck doesn't have cards that interact with the board. And if you look at the decks that are good in Modern, Modern is very much a format about playing to the board. And if your deck isn't playing to the board, you need to have lots of ways to interact with the board directly. And this deck literally only has Shackles, Engulf the Shores, and Jace the Mind Sculptor as ways to interact with the board. And none of those things actually kill things in play. They just kind of slide them around. You just kind of slide them around. What's going on, Apprentice? Yeah, we're gonna play some X Constructor this morning after I finish this league, which could be sooner rather than later. We should be playing blue-white control. You're not wrong. It's either really bad blue moon or really bad blue-red or really bad blue-white control. Like, you need, like, blue in the color pie doesn't have tools for interacting with the board. And that's why there's usually a second color paired with it, right? Welding Jar. The Misty Rainforest means it's probably not Lantern Control. Probably some kind of Tezzerator style deck. Yeah, Dismember is kind of a thing. All right, you don't counter that one. You want to counter the other one. I would love a land, thank you. The problem is that, like, Threads is a much more narrow card. I actually think Threads is much worse than, like, Entrancing Melody is right now. I think I want to burn the Spell Snare here, because I can use this Mana Leak to counter a 4-mana Planeswalker next turn, potentially. Yeah, I mean, the opponent's playing a deck that doesn't play to the board, so, like, a deck that doesn't play to the board is probably an okay matchup for us. Pretty sure I'm just digging aggressively for lands. Just want to, like, play this Jace on curve. We get to, like, Mana Leak there, 4-mana Planeswalker, untap and play our 4-mana Planeswalker. Yeah, you can snap Melody, too. Yeah. Yeah, I've played a little bit of Blue Moon recently, and we definitely had Entrancing Melodies in the sideboard. They have a third Thopter Foundry. I'm gonna hate myself here, but I'm pretty sure I just need to take this one to resolve my Planeswalker. Hey, Pugnar, thank you for the brand new Tier 1 subscription. I really appreciate that. As always, subscriptions are one of the best ways you can support what I do here, so thanks for helping me do what I do. I appreciate it. Good morning. Man, that's really annoying versus my Snapcaster Mage. So I guess I'm shuffling this Mage away. Shuffle away Mage, shuffle away Shackles. I'll probably field them on their end of turn. No, again, just like, look at this deck. Counterspell doesn't solve problems. Like, we talk about that a lot on this stream, right? Like, you want to be, do I care about this? Or am I just going to kill them with this Jace ult? I'm just going to kill them with this Jace ult, right? My hand is like 7 counterspells right now. I think I'm just going to start plussing this Jace aggressively. I'm going to shuffle away these 2 crap cards on top of my deck. On the bottom, nope. You can have that. 4th mana source is fine. CK Lyle, thank you for the resub. If you're on the desktop, which I assume you are for your Twitch Prime, you need to refresh your browser page. And when you resub, you get a chance to put a message in there with you. So you have to refresh your browser page, type in whatever wonderful little message, or none, and then hit send. I guess giving them the Mox Opal turns on War of Invention in addition to their Planeswalkers. I think I should scry here, actually. Put that in the bottom. Yeah. I probably should have scryed here because I think they're going to whir this turn. I don't think that's true, strictly Dostal. I think, like, decks like Green Black and Mardu Pyromancer and Jeskai Control, like these are like reasonable things you can be doing in Modern that are like very interactive and not linear decks. There's a good swath of non-linear decks that are successful in Modern consistently. There are also linear decks that are successful too, so if you enjoy playing a linear deck, prefer that type of strategy, you have lots of choices for it. Yeah, that's the blue deck's problem. The blue deck problems are when you die before you get a chance to do anything, and counterspell doesn't really help you not die before you can do something. If they have a 2-mana counterspell here as well, we could be in trouble, because that means they're gonna get to stick. They're gonna get to stick Thopter here. Well, thank you for the 3-month resub, Lau. I appreciate it. I still have a counterspell left, so I'm just going to keep Fate Sealing them, because I'm pretty sure this is how we're winning the game. Nope, you can keep that one. Keep on keeping on there. So we've got a Merfolk Looter that's going to flip over and snap back in Opt here. Abrupt Decay. Rude. Yeah, in the... I guess maybe I could have engulfed the shores in response there, since I knew there was a Delta on top of their deck, and engulf the shores doesn't really do anything in this matchup. Yeah, I'm going to bottom that just because it lets them draw another card, so I might as well not give them information. I think Jace might actually be 4 mana win the game here. Non-zero chance. Yeah, are you telling me that I shouldn't be impressed because my Planeswalker won the game after it was in play for 1,200 turns? If this is a Thopter Foundry, am I supposed to counter it? Am I supposed to counter this? I get to ult the Jace, so they're gonna die anyways, right? I should just not counter this in case they have something weird like Hero's Downfall. I can remand this though, right? And still have my cancel here. I think I want to just keep my cancel up just in case there's something weird. Like they only have 1 card in hand, the Jace ult is going to kill them. Enjoy your combo. It's here a little late. What's going on, Jade Kit? I'm doing well. Life is great. You. Exile all of your cards. Can I see your deck, please? You can let me see your deck. Tezzeret and Whirs and Abrupt Decays and Maelstrom Pulse. Yeah, a little slow on the concede there. A little slow. Should concede before I see your cards, for sure. Spell Snare and Negate both sound excellent. Surgical Extraction. It's hard to tag Sword of the Meek with Surgical Extraction. Vedalken Shackles doesn't seem like it does anything here. It's a pretty easy cut. I think I'm going to leave a pair of Engulfson for resetting a Thopter board. Is this deck good? No, I don't think so. It doesn't have enough ways to impact the board to be good in Modern. Oh yeah, Hurkyl seems great. Actually, that's just better than these Engulfs, right? Need 1 cut. This is too many Spell Snares. Can trim one of these. I think I like that. What's going on, Dows? What changed to make me play Hex again? They have they've implemented a lot of things to support Constructed better as a format, and as a person who pretty much only plays Constructed, that is a big part of why I stopped playing. So they added a system to let you play on demand for Cosmic Coins while you're playing Constructed. And they are re-implementing something that's similar to Leagues for Immortal, which is good too. Better support for non-rotating formats is great. This seems a little scary because my opponent can get in under, can get a Thopter Foundry down in under a 2-mana counterspell. I brought snares in, right? Yeah, all 4 of my... I have 3 snares in my deck. I didn't board in all of them. 3 snares is fine. Maybe I'm supposed to have... Maybe I'm supposed to have all 4 when I'm on the draw here. I mean, I don't think they were just my demands Immortal. I think there were a lot of people clamoring for better Constructed support in Hex. It's good. It's good when game companies listen to feedback from their player base. This is going to be the Thopter Foundry. Did I miss one? Because I missed it. Because Friday was a long day and I probably forgot to write it down. You donated for Odd Paladin and Spell Hunter. One of them, perfect. I'll add Spell Hunter. What a weird series. I guess they just really want to turn on Mox Opal. I like the Spell Hunter deck a lot. I think it's very, very interactive. Has a lot of dynamic gameplay. I'm gonna play a Flooded Strand out here since I drew a second one. That's another thing. If we're looking for this deck to be optimal, the fetch lands that it has should be 4 different blue fetch lands, because of Pithing Needles and Sorcerer's Spyglasses. We can call them your demands. Yeah, Rexar grinds better than any other card in Hearthstone easily, and he's really sweet. So look, we 3-2'd on stream with Blue Red Wizard, so I'm pretty sure that confirms it to be a real modern deck. Why Hex up next? Because I want to play some Hex. Because it's a Sunday morning, and I want to play a game. I figured if I was going to play some Hex anyways, I might as well stream it. They've made some good strides to improve their Constructed offerings, which is why I stopped playing by and large. Yeah, I have no plans to play sealed, and also like streaming the what's it called events, streaming events that have set rounds in it is just bad. It's just not good. Although the bash and clash changes overall are also very good changes. Yeah, people, I always love when people like, there's negative names out there that like try to accuse me of shitting on things for no reasons, but just like, I feel like I just try to provide good constructive feedback, and like when I provide feedback on something that's actionable and like the game company like fixed their stuff and like in my opinion fixed their stuff and like worked to make their game better and give me things I'm interested in having, like I think that's good. And I'm like, you know, I never had a problem with Hex's gameplay. The gameplay's in fact always been pretty dynamic and interesting. They just like weren't supporting Constructed, and all I do is play Constructed. So like I did, oh, Jade Kit, $5 donation. Donating because you're amazing and I enjoy your decks. Well, thank you for the $5 tip. I appreciate that. Thanks for the support, Jade Kit. Yeah, everything goes up on YouTube, Paul. So it was part of the long Friday stream. There's a ton of videos. I'm just like making Thopters to start poking me, which is fair. In what ways is Hex different from Magic? So Hex is only a digital card game, so it's it gets to leverage the digital design space in ways that Magic can't. And past just digital designs, they have a thing called champions that are not only a way to make when you flood out feel a little bit less bad, but they also allow you to kind of identify what style of deck your opponent is playing before you even start playing the match, which adds a layer of skill to the game because it allows you to make educated mulliganing decisions before you've even started playing, which is quite good in my opinion as someone who wants to like leverage every skill edge. Yeah, the resource system in Hex is miles better than the resource system in Magic. It still allows for colors, and there's still some resource variance associated with it, but just as far as like how the resource system works is more elegant and smooth. It allows the game to translate better on digital too, which is nice. The Hearthstone resource system is different from Magic in a pretty significant way. Like the Hex resource system is similar to the Magic resource system, but it's just I feel like the Hex resource system is what Magic would do if it was redesigned today, basically. Oh, the informed mulligans. Yes, the informed mulligans are great. I agree. The layer of skill that informed mulligans add to a game is just so huge. It's so huge. But I think it's the best Hearthstone deck. It's probably still some form of Paladin, honestly. It is similar. It is similar to in Commander in the way that it lets you identify what your opponent's doing before you start playing, which is great. I think Spell Hunter is very good, but I think on a raw power level, there's a bunch of things that are really good in Hearthstone's current standard format. So we know our opponent has a Tezzeret the Seeker in hand, looking back at this game here. So I think we're just going to Gearhulk Mana Leak that if they slam it down. I mean, to be fair, most people that are really hardcore gamers, like, most game designers have played Magic, right? Like, Magic is a very iconic game. Like, Hex is created, has people that work on it that played Magic. Eternal card game, Direwolf. Direwolf Digital basically employs the entire Channel Fireball writing staff at this point. So, like, most of these games are written by, or are worked on by people that have played a buck ton of Magic. I think Grixis control is fine. I think it's worse on average than Jeskai control. But I think if it's an archetype you really enjoy playing, it's like tier playable. I mean, so I feel like a lot of people, with regards, like someone earlier said Eternal is just a Magic clone, and people say that about Hex, and I hear people say that about a ton of different games, and honestly, like, I feel like writing off some of the other card games as just bad Magic or Magic clones, it feels to me like someone looking at, like, Counter-Strike Source and saying that Counter-Strike Source is a ripoff of Doom because Doom was the first-person shooter. Like, Magic basically invented a genre. Magic invented this strategy card game genre effectively. So, like, the fact that all of these other games that are the same genre that Magic invented are similar to it isn't surprising. So we get to double remand them here. We're really just looking for a copy of Hurkyl's Recall, so we get them pick all their stuff up. Yeah, what are the kids playing these days? It's not Source, it's Go, Global Offensive. Is that what the kids play these days? I mean, I don't even think it's that those games strictly borrow from Magic. I think just, like, they're the same genre of game, so there's going to be similarities between them. God, we are so fucking good at this game. It's just unreal how good we are. Pick your shit up. I agree. I agree. There are more similarities between some games than others. Why aren't I aggressively using my Field of Runes? I don't know. I guess I could be doing it on their untapped lands kind of aggressively. I do need more islands, that's true. And they don't really look like they have any utility lands. No, I think I just want a Cryptic Command here. Although I guess I can't Cryptic plus Spell Snare because of my limited blue mana. So maybe it was right to play Jace and hold Snare up. What's the most complex deck I've played? I don't know. A lot of decks have different subtleties and different complexities in different ways. I think it sells other decks short to write off one particular one is more complicated than the others. No, I don't think so. It could be. I think my sequencing here, I think once I didn't cast the Jace the Mind Sculptor, I was pretty obligated to, we put it on 0. I guess I knew they had the Chalice too. So yeah, and my sequencing was definitely wrong here. I almost certainly should have. Although I guess the flip side of this is, if I would have gone Jace the Mind Sculptor into hold up Spell Snare, they could have led on Chalice, and then I would have been forced to Spell Snare the Chalice, and they would have resolved the Thopter Foundry. I have no idea why they put this Chalice on 0. All right, well that's another Torrential Gearhulk. So that's we're just gonna attack for 5 and pass the turn. I mean, this deck's neat and interesting when our opponent's not playing a deck that plays to the board. All right, quick chill segment. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Everyone's having a great morning, afternoon, night, wherever you're in the world. My name's Jeff Hoagland. I stream Magic full-time on this channel. I also stream random other games like Hearthstone, and we're gonna play some Hex later today. Lots of card games on here as always. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are a big part of why I'm able to do what I do full-time. Subscriptions start at $4.99 a month. Or if you're one of the many people in the world who has Amazon Prime, if you link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, that gets you Twitch Prime included for free, which gets you a free channel subscription to a channel of your choice every single month. You can also support my stuff by checking out some of my wonderful sponsors. MTGOtraders.com would love to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you. And if you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. CoolStuffInc.com buy and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. InkedGaming.com. Speaking of Apple Tunes, and if you sub, you get sweet emotes. Thank you for the 6-month free subscription. I do appreciate that. Welcome back. Inked Gaming can help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. And of course, the wonderful moderation staff here would like to welcome you to Hoaglandia. Please talk to your friendly neighborhood moderator about your complimentary timeout. Oh no, opponent. My opponent doesn't want to. Oh, did they get it? We got it. All right. We're on the play. Being on the play with our deck full of 2-mana counterspells is really good, believe it or not. It's really good. Island go. Of course, Wombat wins. Am I going to stream more Magic tonight after the open? I don't think so. I think Christy wants to have people over for board games tonight. That's part of why I popped on this morning. Well, Namulas, thank you for the resub. If you need, try refreshing your browser page and it should pop up at the top of your chat. But at any rate, thank you for the continued support. Is this the same Bogles player from earlier? It's a different one. All right, I'm just gonna play the 5th match. Zeratal, thank you for the 4-month resubscription. I do appreciate it. Welcome back. Third of a year. What board games do we play? We've been playing a lot of Dice Throne lately. That's a game one of Christy's coworkers usually brings over. That's a lot of fun. She just got this game. I think it was a Kickstarter game called Azul. Oh, there it is. Thanks for the 2 months, Namalas. I'm glad you got the notification to work. There's something great about the username Sadistic asking for a complimentary timeout. That's just like A+ on the meme level. Immortal shoots to kill. He's quick. Yeah, I haven't actually played Azul yet. I was out the last time Christy played that with her friends. There's a bunch of great board games though. I keep meaning to. I need to write. I don't know if I want to write a formal review, but I might write like a quick hits, like my top 10 board games or top 20 board games that I really like to play. Because people ask about those pretty often. Because I feel like the like Magic and TCG communities overlap the board game community a good deal. Do you play deck builders at all? Yeah, a little bit. We own all of Dominion. We haven't played Dominion in a while though. We play a lot of Clank. Clank is very good. They just released the Mummy expansion for that. If you've never played Century is a great. It's a hand building game. It's not a deck building game. It's quite excellent. What's the other deck builder we play? Oh, Evolution. Evolution is quite fantastic as far as. I guess Evolution's not technically a deck building game. It's a card game though. Yeah, we've played a lot of Agricola. Actually, we haven't played a lot. I've played plenty of Agricola. This deck does not have the tools to beat a deck like Bogles. And after we suffered through a game earlier today, when people send in donation deck lists, if you're sending in decks that have very obvious holes and matchups that feel like they're 90-10 or worse, you shouldn't expect me to play them. I play Magic to have fun on this channel, and playing matchups where you're very unlikely to win and just sit there and be miserable for 10 to 15 minutes is not my idea of fun. Sounds fine. Hopefully its matchup for Vedalken Shackles is good. Dredge. Okay. Okay. Shackles is probably not good here. Yeah. Normally I stop playing matches when when we have 3 losses, but we still had a match to play in this league, so I'm just gonna play a different match. Basic Forest inside of Dredge is interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. Not even timeout's gonna stop me. Get out of here. Don't play with fire if you don't want to get burned on this channel. You're not new here. You know how this works. Yeah, I could see that. Having to play through Blood Moon Forest makes that a little bit easier. My gut also says that this is probably an unwinnable matchup, but we're gonna play this one out just so we can see kind of the shortcomings of how this deck is gonna have issues against a deck that plays to the board quickly. Do I want to hold up Remand here? I definitely don't want this Mana Leak. I think I just want to jam the Shackles. That's just MTGBot. If you're interested in streaming Magic, you can go to twitch.tv/MTGBot and type, I think it's ! join in their chat. To be fair, I think that's misinterpreting what Patrick Sullivan said, Opt. What Patrick said was the reserve list is not a barrier to playing Magic, which I agree with. Like many things, Patrick Sullivan is correct here. The reserve list is a barrier to playing one very specific subset of Magic. The reserve list is a barrier to playing explicitly competitive Legacy. It's not even a barrier to playing Legacy in general, because you can play Legacy in a casual setting without reserve list cards, because you can proxy them. The only thing the reserve list is a barrier to is playing competitive Legacy. And I agree. And I think Patrick would agree with that it's a barrier to playing competitive Legacy. What it's not is a barrier to playing Magic in general. Yeah, Engulf should be okay. I'd argue that you're not playing Magic if you're not using Magic cards. You're doing something else that's not Magic. I think that's a silly distinction, Revan. I think if you think you have to have physical, like, am I not? And does this not count as Magic then? Is that what you're saying? These aren't physical Magic cards in front of me, so this doesn't count as Magic the Gathering? I can't say I play Magic 40 hours a week because I'm doing this. No, they're not. They're not Magic cards. These were not Magic cards printed by Wizards of the Coast. So based on your definition, if proxies aren't Magic cards, I don't understand how you can define what I'm doing right now as playing Magic. It's like when we used to do paper streams. I didn't own all those cards we streamed with. I have a color laser printer in my back room, and when we streamed paper Magic on my channel, I literally just ran decks off of my color laser printer. Can I borrow this one? That's not true. That's not true, Clay. There's definitely bluffing and reading your opponent involved on playing digital games. Like getting a feel for, like, my opponent took this line, which represents they have X or Y. I agree that the fundamentals are different, but to say that just like reading your opponent and all bluffing is removed while playing online, I think is not true. Yep. I think if the demand for Legacy continues to be reasonable, you're going to see more and more high quality fakes, because it's lower risk to create high quality fakes than it is to, you know, counterfeit money, and it's going to be more profitable too. Hey, Fling Gnome, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime subscription. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great content on Twitch right now, so thanks for supporting mine this month. I'm going to go ahead and remand this, because I think there's a non-zero chance they don't have a land in their hand right now. Although maybe they have a Dakmor Salvage, and I'm misremembering. If they have a land, that was a bad remand. Is our win condition milling them out? Yeah, probably. But that's... If you don't understand, I feel like you're splitting hairs for no reason here, Ken. I feel like you're talking like there's a difference between like having different physical pieces and like me having a proxy card printed off my computer and put into a sleeve. Like that's a silly distinction. Like a game like Monopoly has physical pieces in it. I would argue that if you had the physical pieces for Monopoly and you printed off the game board and everything else, yeah, that's basically the same as playing Monopoly, in my opinion. All right, so we've got this Cryptic Command to like tap draw their team for a little bit, and then like maybe in conjunction with Engulf the Shores, we can manage to stall them into decking them. We do have to manage to not die to this other Conflagrate in their bin though too. The remanding the Loam was bad there. I should have held the remand to remand the Conflagrate. Low quality fakes, a well-trained magic eye can spot them through a sleeve. Higher quality fakes involve taking pictures with a loop, or using a loop, or taking pictures. You can identify fake cards without ripping them in half. Yeah, we have to finagle a way to engulf the shores and have a counterspell. Is basically what it comes down to. I'm gonna counter this, tap their creatures. And then we need to draw a land here. So that way we can snap Cryptic. We need to draw a land or an Engulf the Shores. I mean, how are we drawing okay? I had one Cryptic Command in the top third of my deck. All right, that means we're dead, right? I don't think it's half the chat ass docs. I think it's just one person being obtuse. Ravan is being kind of obtuse about the situation. Alright, I have 2 surgical extractions and an extra Engulf the Shores. Is Spell Snare for countering Loam good enough? I guess I can Summary Dismissal returning... You could Summary Dismissal returning their things to play? Is that a thing that I'm willing to do? Oh, it does counter Cathartic Reunion too. These disallows are real slow and bad. These searches are slow. Alright, let's put in the Summary Dismissals. Maybe I'm supposed to board in the Sun Droplets too, just because they're kind of an aggressive deck. Welcome back, LQ. I guess Disallow can stop a single Amalgam. They discarded Ancient Grudge, Narcomoeba. Well, that's a good start for us. Hey, the Captain Mogar, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. As always, subs are a big part of why I'm able to stream full time like I do. So thanks for helping me do that. I appreciate it. This is going to be my last match of Magic for the morning. People that want to watch Modern, while it has some advertisements, the SCG stream should be live now. I do my best not to overlap major events while streaming on the weekends. That being said, I'm not going to be done streaming for the day personally. I'm going to stream a little bit of Hex TCG before I call it a day. Rev and for safety with the 3-month resubscription. Thank you very much for that. And the $10 donation. Wasn't expecting to do this so soon, but here's for Blue Red Wizards again. 10 out of 10, Hotherho. Thank you very much. Ping me again on Twitter, please. And just to remind me that you sent in the donation. In the future, please make sure you put a link to the deck list in your donation message. This has just got to be the Cryptic Command, right? I guess they could maybe take the Remand, depending on like what the rest of their hand is. They have like a Cathartic Reunion. They might want to flash back the Faithless Looting next turn, which is a reason to take the Remand. Am I going to stream later tonight? I am not. I'm just playing a stream for a little bit this morning. Is Hex any easier to get into price-wise? It is, actually. So part of the reason that I picked it back up is not only did they address the ability to play constructed for prizes, but they introduced things that are similar to the Challenger decks that Magic Online did. So they have, like, they're like $25 to buy in the store, and they're a reasonable power level, and you can jump right into the ladder with them. Yep. Yeah. In fact, they're already in Hex. They've implemented them already. You can buy them in the store. I think I'm gonna bin this. I just want to fill my graveyard up pretty aggressively here, and I also want to work towards hitting land drops, I think. I agree, LQ. I just got kind of bored playing Tron. That's different. Again, Revan, like a child's toy that has sentimental memories attached to it, or like a museum where you're going explicitly to look at an original artwork, whereas like my goal when playing Magic the Gathering isn't to explicitly have real Magic cards. My goal is to just play the game that Magic cards enable me to play. And proxies allow me to play Magic. They allow me to play the game that I actually want to play. Yeah, I think Linton's their definition, and this sounds like something that Rev's not going to change their mind on, and that's fine. They're allowed to think whatever they want to think here. Like this is subjective. I think you're being unrealistic, and you're being like intentionally I don't know if I want to use the word intentionally, but I think you're being unrealistic, and I think most people don't have the same opinion you do in terms of like what it means to have a card be a proxy. I own nothing. I do not own Magic Online cards. I own very few paper cards. The Magic cards that I own in paper are either framed or they're sentimental cards that I kept when I sold off my collection, or they're mostly worthless bulk that I let my children play with. I don't argue with people on the internet to see them change their mind. That's fair. Look at that. That's the most realistic opinion I've seen in a long time. Yeah, I agree. Cockatrice is Magic. If I am playing legal Magic formats, it is Magic. So flashback looting. So I'm just gonna snap Remand on this. When I'm playing with people that I know, I prefer playing on Cockatrice because if I'm playing with someone I know, I don't need rules enforcement. Like, when Matt and I used to, like, travel a lot and prepare for competitive Magic tournaments, all we did was play on Cockatrice for the most part. Because you can just, like, sit there with two laptops next to each other. You never have to shuffle actual cards, so it's really quick to play. You get to mulligan very quickly. Yeah, and you can do voice chat with it over the internet too. Torrential Gearhulk. I really just need lands, unfortunately. Am I gonna opt here? I know they have Cathartic Reunion in their hand, so I'm pretty sure I just need to hold up Snapcaster Remand this turn. Opponent kept a pretty medium hand on the back of their anti-hate cards. I think we're actually winning at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty surprised that our opponent left Cathartic Reunion in their deck in this matchup. That's pretty great. That's pretty excellent. So, in response to this Azcanta trigger, I'm going to opt now. I probably should have done this last turn, actually, because this puts the 7th card in my graveyard. So that way I'm able to flip this turn. Do you think it is justified for Wizards to sell $100 Magic cards, or is that a crock of shit? I don't know what you mean. Do you have an example? I think it costs Wizards of the Coast the same amount of money to print any Magic card, regardless of what ink is on that Magic card. So I think it's kind of silly that, like, Masters booster packs cost $10 because it costs them the same to make that as any other booster pack. This Jace is pretty good here. They're sculpting their minds. Their cat must have knocked their drink off their keyboard. They paused earlier in the match too, so they must have something else going on. Come on, opponent. It's funny. One of the things about playing Hearthstone is that, like, my opponent has used 7 more minutes off their clock than I have this game. That's how long entire games of Hearthstone tend to last. Like, my opponent, we've spent more time waiting for my opponent to make plays past us in this game than an actual game of Hearthstone takes to play. Which is always a funny comparison. You think WotC could cash much harder on the older formats without damaging standard? I don't know the answer to that question. I think, can they cash in harder on older formats is almost certainly a yes. I think they're leaving money on the table with regards to supplemental product that they could be selling for Modern and Legacy. Now, the answer to the second half of your question, could they cash in on that without hurting their standard product? That answer I don't actually know. That answer I don't actually know. They just, like, actually haven't had a dredge card in 16 cards. That's kind of great. I should have activated Field there. I really didn't want to draw this. Perfect. We're just gonna kill them with this Torrential Gearhulk, right? Yeah, I know you definitely can slow play in Hearthstone per se, but I feel like that's why, like, this clock differential happens in most matches of Magic that I play on Magic Online. Whereas I don't get roped out in most games of Hearthstone. You are right that the option to slow play in Hearthstone does exist, but I feel like it happens less often, and that could just be confirmation bias. Like, I don't have any statistical, scientific, formal data to show that that's the case. But I do know I pretty constantly, like, look up at my opponent's clock and go, oh, you're down infinite minutes compared to me. I think this hand's fine. My opponent brought in things like Thoughtseize, so I don't really want to mulligan for Surgical Extraction. Being able to Spell Snare their turn 2 Cathartic Reunion is valuable. Driven to Despair. Yeah, that's a brutal card. Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. The fact that the way Hearthstone games play out, where you aren't obligated to be paying attention on their turn, is quite excellent. It makes the fact that they're waiting to time you out feel less bad. I'm gonna play this out because I would like to try and find an Engulf the Shores or Surgical Extraction ASAP here. I guess this does let them flash back Faithless Looting, so maybe I'm supposed to hold up Remand this turn. Just Guy Boy with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much for that. And there's a lot of great people making a lot of great content on Twitch right now, so thanks for choosing to support mine this month. Yeah, I think this is actually... I think this was actually a mistake, playing this because they had the Faithless Looting in the graveyard. I should have held up the Remand this turn. I'm gonna bin that for now. I think we have a pretty good chance of finding more lands just like that. That's a Narcomoeba, which is gonna bring 3 friends with it. So we need to find an Engulf ASAP now. Remanding almost anything they cast here. And again, like, my opponent is much further into their deck because I tapped out for the Search for Azcanta and didn't remand their Faithless Looting on 2. So I don't think this deck is very good, but I do think I missequenced this game for sure. I just want to draw cards so I can find that Engulf the Shores here. Cryptic Command also buys us turns, so that's nice. Some of our remands will have value because we get to use them to counter flashbacks conflagrates later in the game. I didn't sideboard in Sun Droplet because our opponent had multiple copies of Ancient Grudge in game 2. So I think boarding in Droplet to turn those on seemed a little bit loose. I'm just going to go ahead and Cryptic gain 10 here, basically. And I mean, like, this matchup feeling okay is a big part of why people love formats like Modern. Because even if this deck isn't well positioned against, like, the decks that are really popular in Modern, it has play to it in matches like this that are tier 2. Don't mind if you don't play this deck. Have the cash and pick a deck you want to play instead. I'll take a peek at it, Jade Kit. But as a heads up, you should always confirm before you donate, but I appreciate the support. I'll take a peek at that and let you know. Yeah, this is going to be my first and only league, Jeskai Boy. I fired up, we've been streaming for about an hour and a half. I don't like to overlap major events when I stream. Or I don't like to overlap major events when I'm streaming Magic. So I'm actually going to stream some Hex TCG after this match is done here. But I'll be back with Magic. I'm planning to stream tomorrow, even though it's a holiday here in the US. Planning to play some Magic the Gathering tomorrow. At least for a little while. The donation queue is not going to play itself. Alright, so we get a look with this Azcanta, and then we get to flip it. That is not Engulf the Shores. Man, it's a good thing Dredge can never beat these sideboard cards, huh? 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'm going to 3. So I actually want to draw step surgical their conflagrates here, right? Oh, I can snap Cryptic. That's way better. Well, snap Cryptic. Snap Cryptic is way better. I did say Hexstream Butterfly. How are we doing in this league? We died horribly to Bogles twice, and by died twice, I meant it was so bad the first time we just didn't play it the second time. We beat a Sultai Tesserator deck. What did we lose to in the other one? I'm forgetting what we lost to in the other one. Or 1 and 3. So Cryptic's gonna tap their team, draw a card. Again, just like digging for Engulf the Shores. Engulf the Shores in conjunction with surgicaling their... I think I just want to surgical their conflagrates, right? I just like don't want to get conflagrated here. Pretty sure that's the case. Opponent's got some lands. Hey, Sarah Q, thank you for the 7-month free subscription. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. With the Snapcaster Mage to block, I think I can actually live next. Oh, they're gonna Ghost Quarter. I was gonna say I get to activate my Azcanta, but they have a Ghost Quarter. That sucks. No, really avoiding that. All right, I get one more draw step towards an Engulf the Shore. Hopefully they cast a spell this turn. That'll let us remand. That'll give us extra draws towards Engulf the Shore. We're all about the fair and balance there. Field of Vryn for the thinning? Maybe. Please cast a spell. Please cast a spell. They don't really have a reason to cast a spell here. Their conflagrates are gone. Alright, let's thin 2 islands out of our deck. Cryptic Command also gives us some redraws. We got 1 Cryptic and 3 copies of Engulf the Shore. And we have 4 copies of Opt as redraws. So you're saying there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance. I'm actually going to not fetch here. And the reason why I'm not going to fetch is because if we draw Jace the Mind Sculptor, we could Jace, Brainstorm, fetch to clear the Brainstorm, and cast Opt all in the same turn. So the thinning is marginal, and the fetch has value if we draw Brainstorm. I need something to mana leak, Aaron. Oh, you're saying, yeah, that's sweet. Okay, so I can, that's a reason to fetch. Yeah, so we're going to Cryptic, mana leak my Cryptic, remand my mana leak. We get an extra draw that way. Okay, so the thinning's not relevant, but getting to draw an extra card is relevant. So I want to hold priority. I want to mana leak my thing. I want to remand my mana leak. Yeah, just all of the redraws belong to us. All of the redraws belong to us. All right, come on. Let's find us an Engulf the Shores, chat. Let's find us an Engulf the Shores. Ooh, Jace the Violet Sculptor. All right, so we're gonna do Jace next turn. Aw, man, excited for some Hex. Squishy, thanks for the 22 months. Thanks for sticking through. We surgically extracted their conflagrates, chat, so that's not something that can happen to us. Put your digging boots on, chat, right? So we get a draw from the Cryptic, we get a draw from the turn, we get 3 draws off of the Jace. So we get 5 looks at 3 copies of Engulf the Shore. And if we hit an Engulf the Shore, it's going to pick our Snapcaster Mage back up. So we'll actually get to Engulf twice if we find the first one. This is game 3 of this match. All right, there's a miss. 31 cards, 3 Engulf the Shores. Come on. Come on. Oh, it's not looking good for our hero, chat. It's not looking good for our hero. That's so sad. That's so sad. We tried so hard and we came so far. Oh, Jace puts 2 cards back, chat. So we're gonna opt into the cards we're putting back on top of our deck. So opting isn't an option. Opt would only have been a redraw if we were able to keep our fetch land. That's so sad. We were so, is it the next card? It's always the next card. Nope, the draw card button is there as a suggestion. All right, feedback on the mono blue deck. I think there's no meaningful reason to play a mono blue deck in Modern other than you want to be cute and play mono blue. You should splash red for Lightning Bolts, or you should splash white for Supreme Verdicts and Path to Exiles and Tefreeze. I think this deck in general is not very good in Modern just because it can't be good against decks that play to the board because it doesn't have cards that interact with the board. I think Vedalken Shackles is exceptionally bad in Modern right now. I think the few styles of decks that Vedalken Shackles could really be good against tend to have things like Culligan's Command and tend to have things like other things. So maybe Thing in the Ice. Yeah, you really don't have that many instant sorceries either, though. Yeah, I think you should just splash a color. And I think being mono blue for the sake of being mono blue is just a little bit too cute. All right. Hexy.